Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday, and this is actually number 11 of my live videos. I bet you didn't think, you probably actually think it's either only a few I've done or you're now fed up with them. But anyway, I'm going to continue. And with it being Wednesday, I was going to say a wonderful Wednesday. I know the sun is shining, the sky is blue out here. The black clouds have gone, but I think I'm going to call it Wacky Wednesday because I think lots of us are now going stir crazy. I'm going to try and get you off thinking about anything negative. And for Wacky Wednesday, I was thinking about if you have children, you've probably, even friends, you've heard, oh, I'm bored, I'm bored. So I thought that by this time, probably everybody's getting a bit bored. So I thought, why not do something different? Because you're all sort of holed up inside and getting fed up with this. So a few of the activities I thought about to take your mind off negative news. Please stop listening to that. Only listen to 3 or 4 minutes of perhaps a credible source of what's going on. So first of all, maybe act out your child's favourite book. Do it like maybe charades or do a jigsaw. But then what about that missing piece? I know I've been really frustrated. I like jigsaws. I've done jigsaws in the past. You get to the end and there's one piece missing. It drives you crazy. Now in this time I suppose you could cut out a bit, maybe try and paint it or crayon it and stick it in there to finish the jigsaw. What about visiting a virtual museum or an art gallery? There's lots of professional places, institutes, they've allowed you to, they're opening up their galleries and their museums online, so you can actually take a virtual tour of them. What about building a fort? Oh, I bet you're thinking that's a fabulous idea just to get away maybe from the children, away from your partner. So you could maybe build 2 separate forts, use bed sheets. I remember my kids anyway certainly used to pull bed sheets over a couple of chairs and then hide under them. What about just dancing? Now, a friend, she posted up her dance routine and it was absolutely fabulous, fantastic music. I know that lots of people are taking to microphones and there are some fabulous singers out there. Harmony, there was a father and daughter singing the prayer. There was another family who made up some fantastic words actually to a song and it certainly made me laugh. What about dressing up? I noticed that quite a lot of people were dressing up. They were going out to the bins in a ball gown or they were just dressing up at night. So pretend you're having this wonderful evening out, dinner at a conference perhaps. So you've got to imagine. All this is using your imagination. What about indoor bowling? Maybe make 2-litre bottles. You might have by this time a few bottles kicking around, so you could make up makeshift 2-litre bottles and maybe use a football. Now that might get a bit too much, but you could try something like that. What about making jewellery from macaroni? Oh no, that's a bad idea because there was no macaroni left in the shelves in the supermarkets, or you've got macaroni but you need it to eat, so that's maybe not such a good idea. You probably don't have any need, or I'm trying to think of other ideas. What about maybe a picnic? You could have a picnic or create a romantic dinner for 2, maybe after the children have gone to bed. There's so many things you can do. I'm getting probably, you could learn about a new talent. I talked about that yesterday. We've probably all discovered we have other talents. Maybe a talent for tie-dyeing an old t-shirt you have. You could start bird watching if you've got not even a garden. You could look out the window and start making a note of different types of birds, because from this we're discovering that actually lots of wildlife are now coming out. Oh, that's a bit better. I'm looking into the light now. What about I'm thinking making up things. I suppose that's again a bit like charades. What about drawing? drawing and painting, there's some wonderful artists are now providing online workshops and tutorials so you can learn to paint or draw. What about maybe hosting a party night, a virtual one? I think there are lots of apps that people are now downloading. They're having bingo sessions, they're having quiz nights, so they're getting together virtually. Maybe I'm thinking of another one was I saw a while ago was pulling out some old socks. You've probably found instead of having a pair of socks, you've maybe got the odd sock here or there, and you could pull them out and start drawing on them and put on a puppet show for your children or even just for yourself to make yourself laugh. Then you could have your finger painting, maybe start some painting, maybe try face painting on the children. Maybe not such a good idea if you don't have the proper face paints. I remember years ago, actually, a friend, before all the gels for the hair came out, I remember, Liz might remember this, but I remember her gelling her son's hair into kind of punk style. It wasn't gel she used, but she had Vaseline. Oh my goodness, that Vaseline to try and get out of her son's hair just took months, I think. So maybe not such a good idea. What about I'm trying to think, maybe making paper mache, using paper and water. That's quite a good idea. You can actually, in fact, you can make a paper mache volcano. Well, make it very small because you'd mix baking soda and vinegar. That's vinegar, baking soda and vinegar. Maybe that's got beyond too much for people because you don't want your kitchen to be a mess. Learn a new card game. Lots of card games around. And you could maybe teach your children to, if you've got young children, teach them new things. I saw there was someone online, she's got her son making Play-Doh animals, which is fabulous. So you can actually have your children creating different things. That would be a break from maybe their study. If you're all on school days, I know a lot of people are stressing out over teaching their children. In fact, I think that many parents have been posting up that they now appreciate really what teachers do. Although I think children are probably better behaved in front of their teachers than they are in front of their parents. Because it's always a stranger's always better at telling your children what to do or to behave properly. Break out the pots and pans like we did, we were clapping, but I think this week we're going to be banging the pots and pans for key workers in this time in the NHS. I think we mustn't forget the all key workers, not just the NHS emergency workers, because we now know that actually the skilled workers are those who actually keep everything going, from cleaners right the way up to people that are needed in the professional services. What about, I suppose you could explore the world through Google. You could actually start looking at the map, teaching your children where certain countries are. I was watching one of the TV programmes where they have to pinpoint where certain countries are, and that tested me. In fact, it tested my knowledge of geography. I thought I was quite good. I knew where the countries were. I probably didn't know where the capitals of these countries were. So you could also have a game, I suppose, with your children again, or with each other, just saying, what would you really want to be when you grow up? Now, even adults, some of our adults are perhaps, we're in a job we don't particularly like. So you could say, what would you really want to do? So this is a time to kind of imagine and dream. You're using your imagination, and the mind is very, very powerful. You can take yourself anywhere in your mind. So maybe make up a secret language. You might already have that between yourself and your partner. Make up a secret language. That might be quite good because you could have a secret language that the children don't know, so you could be talking to each other. There's absolutely lots of things you can do. Some of these might be a wee bit far-fetched, but I was just thinking about everybody's perhaps cleaning their house from top to bottom. Have you found change tucked down the side of your couch or your settee? So you could maybe do that and then send the children round saying, right, what can you find? And then start counting what you find. It'd be quite amazing actually what you find. Oh, another thing you could do is start a family tree. There's, again, if you've got internet, you can start looking up your family tree there. I think some of the things actually might be costly, but you could just make up your own on a bit of paper, get the children involved, because lots of people maybe haven't a clue who their uncles are, their aunts are, or they don't fully know the distant relatives, so that'd be quite a good thing. Again, what else could we do? Please post up some of your ideas, because I'm really thinking learn magic tricks. I think some children are actually quite good at that. Or make up a fun song like some of these families have done and try and create different words to a song that you already know. My goodness, I think I'm getting exhausted. I don't know how many that is. Is that about 25, 30 things? So there's actually lots of things you can do. And I hope you start today, because you're probably feeling you've now been in lockdown for weeks, but I think it's my third week. I can still get quite anxious at night, and I just use my ABC. Please remember that these techniques really work. It's only 2 or 3 minutes, and you can immediately de-stress yourself. I have to constantly say to people who contact me, oh, I'm anxious, I'm stressed, I don't know what to do. If you stress about stress, it will get you. So you need to stop all of that. A for affirmation, I feel calm, I am calm. B for breathing, take 3 deep breaths. And C, use your imagination. And I've given you a lot of lists there for your imagination. And then my Mind Bites meditations, people seem to be liking that. My favourite is either my candle flame or my golden sphere. So the golden sphere, you can step inside it just to get away from everybody in your mind. Now, one of the things I've been doing, and I think it's really helping me, is I know my daughters, they love their physical exercise, as does my son, and I have been following them in my head. So I'm really getting much fitter. I use my imagination just by watching them carry out their physical exercise. So I think you could start doing that. And let's just make this a Wacky Wednesday. Tomorrow, I think Thursday, let's think about what we might call that. I think probably Thankful Thursday. So start thinking about what you're grateful for. And lovely speaking to you again. Have a great day, everybody, and try and enjoy and be grateful for what you have. And I'll see you tomorrow, Thursday. Thanks, everybody who've joined me. And please leave a message for me or what you'd like to hear from me. Hopefully always constructive, please. Any constructive criticisms. Thanks very much. Bye.